What is a UCC filing? You really need to know about it because it can directly affect your ability to get financing. And if you're getting financing, some actual lenders will attach UCC filings and publicly file them and some won't. So by knowing about what these are, you open up the door to a tremendous amount of additional funding. We got a lot to cover in this training, so let's dive in. So what is a UCC filing? Well, UCC by definition stands for Uniform Commercial Code. And it's basically a legal notice filed by creditors in an effort to notify publicly that they have the right to seize assets of a debtor. Basically, it's telling other lenders that you have an outstanding loan and the actual lender has the right to seize your assets if you default on that loan. So when the UCC filing is filed, and oftentimes appears on places like your business credit report, then it makes it harder to get other kind of financing because if you default on additional financing, they're going to want to come after your assets. And if they already know that somebody else has a claim on those assets, then it makes it more difficult to get secondary or even third tier type of financing. So when do UCC filings even get filed? When do they apply? Well, this is what's interesting is that when it comes to getting different types of business financing, a lot of actual lenders will file UCC filings and others won't. So if you're looking at a particular kind of financing, let's say revenue lending, then some revenue lenders that will lend you money just based on the fact that you have consistent revenue will file UCC filings and put them on your commercial credit report and notify other lenders that they have a right to seize your assets while others won't. So that means that you really want to know what a UCC filing is because just by asking the question on whether or not they do or don't file a UCC filing will help you find issuers of credit and loans that do not file them and therefore make it easier to get future types of funding as well. This is very important when it comes to stacking funding. Look, we help business owners get the maximum amount of funding to grow their business. And part of this is by stacking funding options, which means that we find a lot of funding they can qualify for and stack the approvals by getting them multiple approvals with multiple different types of funding. But this becomes way harder when UCC filings are filed because the minute a UCC filing ends up on your commercial credit report, then it's harder for future lenders to want to give you money because they know it's harder to collect if you default because somebody else has the right to claim your assets. So UCC filing kind of adversely affects your business credit reports because even though it doesn't adversely affect your scores, it still sits there and is a deterrent for other lenders to want to give you money. And it also adversely affects your ability to get lending from other sources because once they see that somebody else has a claim on your assets, they're less inclined to want to lend to you because there's less they can do to collect if you ever default. The other thing to look out for with UCC filings is sometimes they're filed, and when you actually pay off that loan, they're supposed to be released. They're supposed to be removed from your current commercial credit report. The lender's supposed to notify places like the reporting agencies that you've satisfied the loan and the UCC filing gets removed. Oftentimes, that doesn't happen though. And even though you paid off the loan months or even years before, that UCC filing can still haunt you, and you might not even realize it, might not even be thinking that it's a deterrent when it actually is. As a matter of fact, we struggle with this exact same thing. We had a loan early in our business. We paid off the loan. The lender went out of business. It stayed on our commercial credit reports, and years later, we went to get an SBA loan, and part of the underwriter's requirement was to actually get the UCC filing removed. Here's the problem. The bank went out of business. We couldn't get the lender itself to remove the UCC filing, so it took us months of additional work to prove to the lender that the loan was paid off and to actually take the steps to get the UCC filing removed. That's just one example of a multitude of problems that can happen by having these UCC filings on your commercial credit report. So what do you do with this information? Well, first of all, now you know what UCC filings are. You know what they can do to adversely affect you. So you also know how to avoid them. Try to get loans where lenders don't file UCC filings. Now, if you have to, you have to, and it's not a big problem. It just notifies other lenders that there's an outstanding debt and that they have the right to come after your assets. But if you do have a choice, you want to avoid it. You want to work with a source like Credit Suite or others that can actually help you choose a lender that doesn't file a UCC filing to open up the door for you to stack funding and be able to qualify for more money for your business. So if you want to learn more, then simply give us a call. We're actually entitled to a free finance assessment, and on that free finance assessment, we'll do a fundability check to make sure your business is structured the right way to get the maximum amount of funding. We'll help you get your business credit reports and even give you tips and tactics to build your business credit. And most importantly, we'll do a finance assessment to tell you all the money you can get right now through loans and credit lines. Our finance specialist can even help you choose lenders where UCC filings don't even apply. That way it helps you get even more money now and into the future. So give us a call for that free finance assessment at 877-600-2487. And if you got value from this training, make sure you like and subscribe and keep your eye out for the next training where we talk about more cool ways to get the money you need to start and grow your business.